If you're serious about putting size on your arms very fast, you do not want to miss this video. I'm going to be walking you through my entire arm day routine from start to finish, and there's going to be a ton of tips throughout this video that will completely change how fast your arms grow. So without further ado, let's jump into it. To start my arm day, I always like to do some light dumbbell curls to get some blood in the muscle and warm up a bit. I'll usually do 1 or 2 sets of this depending on the day, and then I'll move on to my first exercise. First exercise we're doing here is hammer curls. Now the way I do my hammer curls is a little bit different than normal, but I've put on so much size on my arms from doing it the way I'm about to explain to you. So to start off, I like to do a normal set where I can get quite a few reps out. In this case, I'm using 40s and I'm going all the way to failure, which is actually the case for all exercises that I do. Moving on to the next set, this is where things get interesting. So in this set, I'm using 60-pound dumbbells with a bit of a swing, and I like to call these overload sets. The swing is going to help force a lot of weight onto your biceps, and it's a big shock to the muscle because it's more weight than you can typically move. So in turn, it's going to force a lot of muscle growth onto your bicep. Now make sure when you're doing these overload sets that you're not putting your back in vulnerable positions or anything. As you can see, I keep my back pretty straight, and I like to stay seated for these to keep myself in check. So in some cases here, I can barely get full reps out, but these half reps are still very valuable. If you saw my video on stretch mediated hypertrophy, we spoke about how the majority of muscle hypertrophy actually happens in the stretched portion of the exercise. So having half reps like this in your routine definitely has its place. Now anytime I do these overload sets, I always like to end off by doing a set with normal weight. This way I'm still getting in some good full range sets and I'm getting the best of both worlds. Now one thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to only be doing overload sets all the time, right? This is a tactic that you want to use every now and then to really shock the muscle. So in this case with hammer curls, you can throw in some overload sets every few arm days. These sets are really going to help push your baseline forward and move up the rack very fast. Always minimum when you're doing an arm workout, at least do 1 bicep exercise with your palms facing each other. At least 1 with the palms facing the roof. This way you can work the entire bicep. And then for triceps, 1 exercise, palms facing each other. 1 exercise at least, palms facing the floor. So we're gonna move into a tricep now. I'm gonna do an alternating workout. And then we'll finish off with the forearms. All right, so next up, we're gonna be doing an overhead tricep extension. So this is kind of simulating a skull crusher. But you can just grab one of the cable machines and hold the ball. I'll take this thing off because most gyms don't have this, so I don't want to demonstrate with it on. But all you gotta do is just like this and do the overhead extension. You get a really, really deep stretch at the bottom here and a good squeeze at the top. So right now we're doing the long head of the tricep. So that's gonna be your palms facing inwards with a neutral grip. That's really, really good. Squeeze. You don't have to go too heavy with this. Just focus on that good stretch and a good squeeze. Now, in terms of reps, I'm not a big rep counter, to be honest. I let my body tell me when it's done. So we go until we can't go. Oh, these are the reps I count right here. All the other ones, our body already's got enough muscle to do them. And your body's an efficiency machine, right? It's not gonna waste time building muscle unless you tell it you need some. You can find your angle with this exercise. See where you get the deepest stretch. Me, I like to kind of let my arms fall back and you'll feel a super good stretch. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Oh, okay. I'm cooked. And most people, they'll give up a couple reps too early, especially when you're natural. You gotta really dial it in with your training, go that extra step. And that's what's gonna set you apart from most people. All right. So we'll do another couple sets of this. Sometimes what I'll do is 2 sets with the ball grip and then 2 sets with the handle, just to work both sides of my triceps. But the tricep exercise that I have planned next requires a lot of energy, so I'm gonna save a little bit for that. Sometimes when you're doing
isolation exercises. It's good to feel, physically touch the muscle that you're trying to work. Allows your body to make that mind-muscle connection. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. This music is real loud. So I think I'll do one more of these and then we'll head over to bench dips. Bench dips is a really, really, really good exercise to put size on your triceps. So I'm excited to show you guys that one.
So for our next bicep exercise, we're going to be doing strict dumbbell curls. Since I did low rep and heavy weight for my hammer curls, I'll be focusing on lighter weight and higher volume this time around. It's good to have a mix of both heavy weight, lightweight, high volume, low volume in your routine because they both have their own unique benefits and unique rewards.
And it helps if you have your elbow back a little bit for these and you kind of drag the weight upwards. Good squeeze. Oof. Very strict. Again, still failure, as always. Sometimes a couple second break gives you some more juice. All right. Oh. I think I'm actually gonna do something a little different. So sometimes instead of doing one exercise for 3 sets, 4 sets, I like to do 2 exercises for 2 sets each. It's to replace one, of course. So what I'll do is 2 sets of strict curls and then 2 sets of preacher curls. Just give it a sec, get some juice back. Whew. Don't be afraid to cheat a little bit on your last few reps. Just don't throw your back out or nothing. Oh, okay. All right, so those 2 sets of strict curls. Let's move into some preacher curls now. I gotta go pretty light with this because my forearm's a little bit injured. And it doesn't feel very good when I go heavy.
So next up, we're moving into some dumbbell preacher curls on an incline bench. As I mentioned, rather than doing one exercise for 4 sets, I'm going to split it up into 2 exercises for 2 sets each. You don't need to go super heavy with these, just focus on a deep stretch and a good squeeze at the top. And one tip that helps a lot with the squeeze is to bring the dumbbell to your ear on the side that you're working. So for example, if I'm doing it with my right arm, then I'll sort of aim for my right ear as I'm pulling the weight up.
All right, so for this exercise, you're gonna be sitting on a bench with some dumbbells to put your feet on, and I'll show you what you're gonna do. Now this exercise is amazing to put size on your triceps. All right, just dip down to 90 degrees, come up, get a really, really good squeeze, all the way down and back up. Now, depending how I feel, I can add some weight on my lat, hit the triceps even harder. By the end of this, I should be able to get yourself back onto the bench. So that means you did enough. Okay. Whew. I can't even flex my arm fully right now. Crazy, crazy pump. That's what happens when you really push to failure on every set. Funny enough, I read a study the other day that spoke about how 1 set to failure is more valuable than 3 regular sets where you're stopping a couple reps in the tank. So that goes to show how valuable it is. Next up, we're gonna be adding a little bit of weight here. So what that's gonna look like is a plate sitting on my lap. Now, I don't like to go more than 2 plates on this because your elbows aren't gonna like you after that, but I'll start with 1, see how we feel. It's a little tricky to get on you, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. All you gotta do is get it on your lap comfortably. 1 foot out first onto the left dumbbell, right foot out to the right dumbbell. There you go, you're set now. Let's go. So we'll do 1 more set of this, and then we're gonna hit the forearms, the exciting stuff. There's a superset that I swear by. 2 exercises, one of them being reverse drag curls, and the other one being a static farmer carry. You will make some serious gains just from that. By the end of my forearm superset, my forearms will be bursting, like veins everywhere. That's the best feeling. Well, let's jump into this last set so we can get there quicker. Let's do 2 wheels. Why not? Now the weights at this gym are all a bit different, so it's gonna be a little bit more tricky, but we'll make do. Give you guys a back angle here. Come on. All right, let's go. That's it. That's it for triceps. That's it for biceps. Let's move into forearms. All right, forearm superset time. So we got 2 60s here, which we're gonna use for the farmer carries. We're gonna do 3 rounds, 45 seconds each. But first, we're gonna do drag curls with the easy curl bars. So we'll do this to failure. Now when you're doing this, you wanna hold the spike part of the bar sort of in between the wide grip and the close grip. Keep your elbows static, locked in, drag the weight up. Rather than like curling it, you wanna keep your elbows static, drag it up. Now when you're dragging it, you won't really be able to bring it all the way up. It kind of stops here, for me at least. But should be the same for you. 45 seconds on the clock. Let's go. When you're doing this, squeeze them as hard as you can for the 45 seconds. Pull them all a little bit from your body so gravity doesn't take over. And if you want an extra challenge, you can curl your wrist inwards a bit. Now, since my inner forearm's a little bit injured, I'll keep it this way. Now do whatever it takes to make it that 45 seconds. A lot of it's a mental battle. Sometimes I just like to close my eyes and work through it. That was quick. So that was 1 round, 2 more to go. forearm pump is coming in nicely. Whew. Now everyone's a little bit different in terms of rest times, but I don't like to rest very long. I like to keep the momentum going. So that said, let's get into set number 2. Okay. All right. Straight to the carries. 45 on the clock. Let's go. Oh, this one burns a bit more. Who we at? Halfway. Five seconds. Two down. One to go. Can't lie, boys. I'm cooked. This is what it takes. You gotta fight through. Four to 5. Let's go. $20 seconds. Oh. Barely hanging on. Alright, that's a wrap, boys. That is a wrap. Oh.
Alright guys, that wraps up the arm video. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really hope this helped you guys out. It was my first time filming in the gym, so I'm a little bit rusty, but that's something that I definitely want to work on in the future. I have a very unique approach to training, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys. A lot more to come in the future, and I'm very excited for that. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. But for now guys, thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.